Good morning, everyone. It's lovely to see you all again. Let's go into the opening superpower exercise, and then we'll check in with everyone. And I've got a little bit to share today as well. All right. So take a deep breath, close your eyes, and get into your superpower state, however you normally do that, using your word or phrase, or using the little exercise. Feel your heart opening. Feel that sensation of expansion from your chest or solar plexus. And imagine that feeling as a ball of light or energy shining out from you. And then allow it to spread down to your toes, up to the top of your head, and out to your fingertips. So you're now full of that light, that energy, that love. And allow it to fill each of the 50 trillion cells that make up your body. Love each cell just for existing. And now allow that light or energy to overflow from you. Spread out and fill the whole room you're in. Very good. And now think of the little you, and allow that light or energy to fill that little you with that love. Love that little you just for existing. Perfect exactly as they are. Very, very good. And now think of your subject. Fill your subject with that same love, that light, that energy. Love them just for existing. And now imagine them not wanting to be with you, or being unhappy, or whatever that negative emotion is, and keep them filled with that same light or energy, that love. This is who you really are. Very, very good. And you can open your eyes. All right, so welcome everyone. Lovely to see you all again. Before I start checking in with you all, I have a message from Cheryl. Cheryl says, she sent this email this morning. Good morning, I won't be able to attend this morning as our pastor is having a discussion regarding the Zoom intruder this past Sunday and has asked me to participate. I will listen to the recording. So hi, Cheryl. All right. And the reason she sent the email is because she has an idea that she wanted to run past everyone. She says, and this is based on our conversations just recently, I think. She says, here is my idea. If everyone would like to share their favorite or most meaningful childhood photo of themselves, I would love to make a collage of our group. Some of us didn't have friends as children, and I'm thinking it would be a lovely way to recreate our pasts while providing a beautiful visual. I love the idea of a friendship collage. She says, we can choose a certain age group perhaps, or not. If you would like, and then she says, if you'd like to share that with the group, please feel free. So, you know, whoever would like to, I think that's a lovely idea, and whoever would like to do it, perhaps what we can do is you can either email the photo to me, to my email address, odile@theremmertmethod.com, or you can upload it you can share it in the Facebook group, in the New Memories Garden Facebook group. If you upload it there, and then I'll pass them all on to Cheryl so she can create the collage. So obviously, you know, if you don't want to do that, that's absolutely fine. But for those who do, we'll do that. I'm definitely going to do it. I'm going to dig out a photo. As for the age group, I think it doesn't matter the age, but we're open to suggestions, of course, if you want to do a specific age group. But what I'm thinking of is some people may not have photos of that particular age group. So I think all ages. So all right. So see if you what you think of that, and if you'd like to do that. And in fact, so Kara, I know you had to pop off, and I think a couple of people have just arrived. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy and paste the message from Cheryl so that you guys don't have to wait for the recording to see what I've just said. So I'm just going to say message from Cheryl. And then I'll share that in the chat so you can have a look at that in the meantime. All right, so and then let's check in on how everyone's doing. So, oops, there we go. And enter. All right, so Kathy, how are you this morning?
I'm going to stop coming in early because I'm always the first one.
Well, actually, on my screen, Kara's the first one, but I know that she's going to be reading that thing I just posted. That's why I came through to you.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm fine. Thank you. I was just saying to Steve, it's the anniversary of my mother's passing, and she was an absolutely lovely woman. She was just I was fortunate to have her as my mother. But then I always go to how unlucky she was to be married to my father. So
Right.
we just talked about that and some do justice stuff and some great ideas. Kara gave me a great idea. So
fantastic. Yeah. Yay. Very good. And any questions for today?
Probably, but not yet.
Okay. All right. Very good. And it's lovely to have you here as always.
Thank you.
Okay. And Lisa says, I kept sending you all love every hour yesterday as children and adults. That's wonderful. Thank you, Lisa. That's absolutely fabulous. All right. And so now I'm going to go to Kara. Hi, Kara. How are you doing today?
I am very well, thank you.
Good. And any questions or comments or anything?
Not that I can think of right now.
All right, very good. Good job. And let's go to Bogusława. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Okay.
I have a question. I was thinking about something, and then pop up again the old memory, which I changed many times, and I thought I changed for very good. And I was thinking today, and came up to me, it's like, did I use all modalities? And there was like a voice. How is the voice? What did you hear? And I hear my mother saying, this is not for you. And probably I'm coming back because it's that voice. How you work on voice?
Okay, good question. So in the same way we work on any of the others, so the first thing is get into your superpower state. So, and then think of the voice, notice it very, very quickly. So for everybody else as well, don't spend time in the old memory. Just notice what's there, a couple of seconds, come back to the love, the superpower state, go back again. Do that until when you think of the voice, there's no emotion, there's no negative emotion, and then change it to the opposite, positive and empowering. So if she's saying, this is not for you, then you could change it to something like, I'm so proud of you for everything you've done. You can do anything you want. Something like that. Does that make sense?
Yes, I thought I changed it because this was something I wanted to take it, and she said it's not for you. So I changed, like, here you go, and
that's it. There you go. I didn't know the context. Yes.
This came back today to me, and I said, why again? And
that's okay.
I just was thinking, what is there? And I found this still, it's not for me. So
Yes, yes. So go to the memory if you have one. If you haven't got a memory, if it's just a voice, just do that back and forth until there's no negative emotions, and then change it. So then it would be something like, here you go, sweetheart, you can have whatever you like, or you're very welcome, or yeah, whatever that little you wanted.
okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And feel the feeling of it, and then practice it, of course. So remember that to make sure it's established, you need to practice it over and over, so
Yes,
you're firing those
I
neural
was
networks.
practicing, I was hearing her voice, but still I came back to the same thing.
Okay, so there may just be an anchor there. So try that again, and if that doesn't work, then notice what are the emotions when you hear that voice, when you hear her saying that, and does it remind you of anything else? And there may be an anchor, and then change that.
Okay.
All right.
Awesome. And I have another question about those pictures. Like, I don't understand exactly what is about those. You just said there is some words I don't understand.
Okay, so what Cheryl was talking about is if we upload a photo of us as a child, then she's going to put it into a collage, is like a collection of pictures nicely displayed,
Okay.
so that we were all each other's friends when we were children.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a visual representation of us all being friends when we were children, so to help change those childhood memories of not having friends or
That's really good idea.
Isn't it?
Now
Yeah.
I understand, you see.
Good. Yeah, it's the word collage probably through you, because that's not a word we use often. So
Yeah, I didn't know what is that, collage.
yeah.
Okay. No, but that's a really good idea. Yeah, I need friends from childhood.
There you go. Yeah. So that's lovely. I think that's a brilliant idea. I'm very excited.
Very good idea, yes.
Very good. So thank you,
Thank you.
Bogiswara. All right, and then going on to Katrina. Good morning, Katrina. Hello, Katrina. Sorry. On the other
Hi.
side of the world.
Yes.
How are you today?
Today, all of today. Well, now I'm good. I was on a roller coaster.
Okay.
As why not? You know? Anyway, what did I just was aware that I was, you know, from last night in bad form.
Mm-hmm.
And so it started last night. I had a Zoom call with my daughters, and I was thinking, it was good, but I was noticing that I was disapproving and criticizing of me, you know, while they were talking.
Mm-hmm.
We had a great chat. Good night, bye-bye. And then this morning, my daughter sends me a link the family had made of wishing a member, you know, a greeting, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Whatever. And out of the 30 videos, I was in the middle, and I then came to me, and it was like, you know, oh, that was good, that was wonderful, and then it came to me, and I was like, oh God, you know, you, and then forgot about it, and then I kept going. The mood was getting worse and worse, and I thought, what's going on here? So then I realized that I was there was one particular one. And it was like, why could I have not have done like her? And why are you praising her and you're not praising me? So I was beating down. She was getting the praise.
Yes.
But I was beating myself down, you know. So
yes.
I then decided to write the letter to me.
Good.
The little girl to me, and so yeah, she was very angry, very annoyed, and very upset, and was not willing to forgive until eventually she was exhausted. And then, so the last sentence was, I always felt threatened. So it was when I see a good-looking woman,
mm-hmm.
I was always threatened. And what I've written on the other side, so I want this link broken. The inner Katrina feels insecure, threatened, judged, criticized. So once she sees the good-looking woman, inwardly I'm panicking.
Yes.
So how do I
how do you change that?
Yeah.
So first of all, well done for writing the letter. That's fantastic. And you're spot on. There is no forgiveness. When we write the letter, it's not about forgiveness. It's about letting them have it. So that was good that she didn't want to forgive. Absolutely spot on. You wrote that today?
Today, about 2 hours ago. Yeah.
Okay. So when you sleep tonight, your brain's going to process a lot of that. So because when you go to sleep, then your brain starts processing any changes you've made in that. So you'll probably find a difference tomorrow when you wake up as well. As for the feeling threatened, can I? And again, I'm aware that that this is not for memories, but I can't not help. So just very briefly, if you think back to do you have any memories of learning that how a person looks is important? You don't? Okay, that's okay if you
No.
don't. That's all right.
No.
Tell me your mum. What did your mum think of the way people looked, the way you looked, the way other people looked? Anything there?
No.
And how was your mum about her own looks?
I never really knew my mother. I don't know how. Say, I left home at the age of 11.
Right.
So when I was there, it was like I had no relationship with mum. I was with my dad. I was with the boys. I was on the ponies, and I was or I was with my best friend.
Okay.
It was the pony and the best friend. So mummy, I really didn't get to know at all. You know?
And that's okay. And so your dad and the boys, did they ever talk about the way people looked?
No.
No. Okay, that's okay. That's all right. And your best friend, what did she have to say about the way people looked, or the way she looked, or the way you looked?
Yeah, well, she would have said at times. Yeah, probably she would have said at times. They owned a shop, and I would have come to the shop with my dad, and she would have said, "Oh, you know, you always look so lovely." And here's me. She made no effort, and seemingly I didn't know. You just had to get dressed to go to church, mass, whatever, or something. So it was just something nice.
Yeah.
And she was just working in the shop, but she did say, yeah, she felt. I suppose she felt jealous, but that didn't register with me at all, you know.
Okay. So, and what did you think of when you looked at her? So you were dressed for whatever, and she was not. You know, she was just working, and she said that to you. How did you see that? From if you're looking at her, did you think, oh, she's lucky, or did you think, I feel sorry for her? Anything like that?
I thought she could be making more of an effort.
Right. There it is.
Is
Okay.
that it?
That's it. Well, that's certainly one of them. Anyway, there may be other references, but that's one. So what you do now is change her so that she was always beautifully dressed. You were both beautifully dressed, and it was lovely.
Okay.
Okay, because what could have happened, and we don't know without doing more investigation, obviously, but one possibility is that you may have, a part of you may be terrified to end up like that.
Okay, right.
You know,
Okay.
and because we don't remember everything consciously. Right, so we can't possibly remember everything consciously, consciously remember everything that's happened to us. So we don't know. There could have been other references there where somebody talked about it, somebody mentioned it, something happened, and although you're not remembering it consciously, if you start to change that memory, if there is anything else, you'll suddenly remember it and go, oh yeah, I remember that, and then you can change that as well. Does that help?
Yeah, I will try that.
Good.
This is a big one. This has ruined my life.
Yeah.
Everywhere I went, any party I went to, I always, I had to go home. I had to go, because I was so miserable.
So I would say there's definitely other references there that you just can't remember consciously right now, but that's a place to start. That's like a thread on a jumper. As you start to pull it, will start to unravel and you may find other things.
Would you be older than that? You wouldn't be younger than that to have any effect.
What do you mean?
The references would be after that first one.
No, before.
Would be-
So in order to have had that experience, there must be something before as well, but you don't need to find that. If that comes up, great. But if you can't remember anything before that, that's okay. Just work with what you can remember. And if there is anything that the subconscious can't automatically change, it'll bring it up for you and you'll suddenly remember it. But remember that we can't experience anything without having a previous reference for it. Now, it may not be the same topic. It may be a completely different topic, but it will be a reference, because as we experience life, the subconscious is going, okay, so what's the closest match to this? And then producing a reaction, a response, and understanding and giving it meaning.
But you see, when I'm comparing there, I felt good, that I was feeling good.
Yes.
That's not working for me, what you just said there.
So when you were looking at her and she was so that now you're looking from your point of view, you felt good because you had something that the other one didn't.
Okay.
Now, something else may have happened somewhere along the way where, oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. So nothing before that would, yes. So the reference will be after. Sorry, I see what you mean with that. Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at her and she seems to not have, and then something may have happened. Somebody made a comment or something completely unrelated where your brain then went, I don't want to react.
But I reacted good. I reacted good to that.
Yes, but so that was your reaction. But remember that the subconscious is gathering data and information all the time and forming structures of beliefs. So, and we are not consciously aware of most of it. The most of it, we have no idea. So something may have happened earlier that set it up, that created one piece of data or one sort of structure. And then when you got into that situation, you were like, well, I'm nice and she's, I'm dressed nicely and she said, so that feels nice, that feels good. But in the background, that earlier experience is going, that's just as well, because you don't want to be like that. So that's okay, because there is no danger at that point of being like that. So this is not being triggered yet. Then later on, somebody makes a comment, somebody is judgmental of you or critical of you or of someone else, you get to boarding school and somebody else is lovely and you don't feel, and that's when that kicks off and goes, oh, danger. Does that make sense?
No, but
it's okay, because when you got to boarding school, there was something, if I remember correctly, right? There was something with another child.
Yes, there was another girl and she was prettier than me.
Right.
I wanted to be like
but
her.
Before, you were the prettier one.
Yes. Now she's the pretty one.
There you go. So originally you were the pretty one, and it was like, I'm safe. Let's put it that way. I'm safe because I'm the pretty one. That one's not the pretty one. So everything's okay. Then you get to boarding school and you're thrown off your throne, and you're kicked off your throne. And so now someone else is the pretty one. There's danger. You don't have your position anymore.
Okay.
Now, as an adult and with the conscious mind, it doesn't really matter. It's not that big a deal. But to a child, bearing in mind, and this is so important for everyone to remember, to a child subconsciously, so they don't know consciously that this is the case, but to a child subconsciously, the instinct is, I need to be the only one, the most important only one in order to survive. So this is not about fairness or being nice to other people or consider that. because in nature, you may have noticed that puppies, you know, when you feed puppies, seldom if ever does a puppy go, oh no, after you, right? They just, you've got to survive. They don't care if the others get or not. That's instinct. And we have that same instinct for survival. And then, of course, we've got the conscious mind that kicks in afterwards, and we learn to be kind, and we learn to be modest, and, you know, don't be full of yourself and all that. But to that subconscious of a child, it is crucial that they are the best. I have something you don't have. That means I will survive.
Okay.
Does that help a bit to explain?
Yes, brilliant.
Okay. So what I would do is change the memory of your friend first, that you were both very, you know, beautifully dressed and whatever, and you were having fun together, and maybe take her with you to boarding school. And then the two of you are, you know, the trendiest, prettiest girls, but you are always prettier than her. You always look better than her. You're always prettier than her. She's pretty too, but you have to be, and this, I was talking to someone else about this as well. Most of us are brought up to be considerate, kind, fair to other people, and we don't want to, you know, we don't want to hurt anyone. We don't want anyone to go without. That's the way we're raised. But again, with the survival, in order to really give yourself, because your subconscious doesn't care. Your subconscious doesn't care if somebody gets or they go without or whatever. It's about survival. So in order to make the most of that, make sure that you are the prettiest, you have everything that the others don't have. Create memories of you as a child getting privileges. You don't have to do any chores. You have toys and whatever else that the others don't have, and the others are all going, oh, you're so lucky, I wish I had that. Because what that says to the child's subconscious is, I'm safe, I'm valuable, I'm worthy, which is affecting, of course, everything now. And remember, none of this is actually real. You're not hurting anyone. This is all just neurons firing in your brain. So nobody even needs to know about it. So it's not like anyone's going to go, oh, you're being selfish, or those poor kids. That's just, there are no other kids. It's just your neurons firing. And it's really important to establish that value, that core sense of value.
Okay.
That, so Steve says, how did little Katrina learn that not looking good was a scary thing? Do you have anything like that? I think I did ask you that, but I don't remember. I don't think you. Yeah. There's no reference for that. That's okay. So do that with change your friend. Make sure though that you are always the top, and then do the same in boarding school. And all the other kids are going, oh, Katrina, you're so lucky. I wish I looked like you. I wish I had what you have. Yeah? All right. Good job. Thank you for sharing that. Very good.
Thank you.
You're welcome, love. Kara?
That doesn't sit right with me.
Okay, that's okay. Good.
Why can't everyone be pretty?
I'll tell you why. Because to the conscious mind, everyone else being pretty and me being pretty, and we're all the same, that makes perfect sense, and there's no threat there. But if you go back to nature, that instinct, I need to be the one that's the most important, because if I'm not the most, if we're all the same, then someone else could, if there's ever any question of survival, the parents, the people who are raising us, could pick someone else. I need to, so we've got that background drive. I need to make sure that I'm the most important, I'm number one, so that if there's ever any threat to my life, to our lives, I will be the one that gets fed and protected, because I'm so if you, I'm trying to think of another analogy, but if there's any, you know, in nature, long time ago, before civilization, kids were dying left, right, and center. Of course, you know, there wasn't enough food for everybody, or you could only carry one child at a time to save them from the I just that remind me, because I was reminded, because this morning I saw a squirrel running with a baby in its mouth, moving nests. Steve said they were moving nests. It was really cute. But if you think about that, if that squirrel, let's use that. So the squirrel's got 3 babies, and one baby is the best one. It's the biggest one. It's the one most likely to survive, because it's the best, the healthiest. Perhaps it's the most social. I don't know much about squirrels, but whatever it is, that's the best one. The other 2 aren't as good as that one. Which one is that squirrel going to choose to save first out of instinct? Because the likelihood of its survival. So it's going to take that one first away from the danger and put it in the new nest, make sure that one's okay. Then it'll go back for the next best. And the last one may or may not survive.
Yeah.
So so none of it is conscious. It's all just an instinctive drive. And we as humans have learned to override those instincts, but the child's subconscious doesn't know that. So
Okay, if I'm programming into my subconscious that I am the best,
yes,
I am the prettiest, I come first,
yes.
won't I behave that way in my life? Because
So
that's what I'm programmed in, and I might look down on other people, right?
Yes, very good question. And this is what I was saying to this other person as well. Interestingly, no, and I'll tell you why. Because we're not talking consciously, we're talking subconsciously. Now, if you program into your subconscious, I am the best, I have everything, the others don't have it, I am, you know, the prettiest, and whatever it is, I'm top of the heap. Now you don't need to worry about anyone else's, you know, knocking you off your perch. You can afford to be kind, compassionate, generous, and all of that, because so arrogance and selfishness come from fear, and the opposite to being confident and good. So if someone is, you know, they're being mean to everyone, and I'm better than you, and they act in that arrogant way, they don't have a belief that they are better than everybody else. That they may consciously think they do, but what it is it's a survival mechanism and a coping skill against lack of self-esteem, low self-worth, and fear of not surviving, not being the best. If you've got plenty and there's no fear, and you have everything, then there's no reason not to be kind to others. And it is in our nature. We are naturally designed to connect and be kind and compassionate and generous. And we see that a lot, of course, in humans in general. The thing that stands in the way is fear of not surviving. So if my neighbor has plenty and I don't have, I'm going to feel I've got to hang on to what I've got instinctively. I may override it consciously, but my instinct is going to be, oh, I want some of what he's got. If I've got plenty and I'm not worried about losing anything, and my neighbor comes and says, or, you know, they seem to be struggling, I go, of course you have. And that the same goes with affection, and, you know, the same with possessions goes with affection, love, kindness, compassion. If you've got plenty of it yourself, it overflows from you. And that's why with the superpower, we fill ourselves first, because you can't give what you don't have. So what that does is it makes me feel, the individual feel I'm the best. So I don't need to pull anyone else down. I don't need to fight with anyone, because I'm the best. And I have proof in my subconscious. So therefore I can lift others up. I can help them. I can give. Does that help to explain? Does it make sense?
I think I have to let it process.
Yes.
I did want to say something else as far as Katrina's situation. What about television and the things we were exposed to, even as little children, Barbie dolls. I mean, Barbie dolls is a big one, you know. You grow up thinking that's how you're supposed to look, or Hollywood, movie stars.
Right.
I'm just wondering if that might play a part. I think it did with me, you know.
It can do, and I'll tell you what will make the difference is your experiences around you. So Barbie dolls on their own are not going to make a difference without something else going on around you. So, for example, if I have a Barbie doll, but my parents, my experience of my parents at home is that I'm perfect exactly as I am, and they feel confident in themselves, and so I've got that proof around me. A Barbie doll is just a Barbie doll then.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? But when it's the parents or the environment is, oh, you're going to be, you know, is supporting that image of that Barbie doll, then yes, it's just going to be one more piece of proof.
Okay.
Does that explain it?
Yeah, so even if we've been exposed to, I mean, I watched a lot of cartoons when I was a kid, you know.
Yeah.
So even though we've been exposed to a lot of that on television and media and everything, it's really the parents that override all of that.
The home environment, yes. So of course, if it's somebody else raising you or whatever, whoever raised you, your experiences while you were in real life being raised will be the primary impact, because that is, you know, that's happening all the time, and that's survival.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Kara. Thank you for asking those questions. Oh, my screen just changed. Okay, everybody's shuffled around now. So let's go on to the next one on my screen. Wanda. Hi, Wanda.
Hi. Today has been really good. I like
Good.
this
Oh,
section
good.
today. Yes. I'm like, yeah, wow, yeah, I got it.
Excellent.
It's really good. So thank you, Kathy, for bringing it up, and Kara too. It was like really,
Yes.
I understood everything. Thank you.
Very
I don't have any questions today. I haven't done any homework.
Okay.
I'm
That's
just
all right.
enjoying today. I really like this one today.
Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you, Wanda, and thank you for saying so. Well done.
Yes.
Yay. All right, and then on to Amy. Hi, Amy.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm okay, yeah. And great sharing today. I came up with some memories for myself about looking good and not looking good, not wanting to attract myself when I was younger, but yet I wore a lot of makeup to hide behind. And now today I don't wear makeup because I'm like, I'm okay as I am. So
Good.
yeah,
Very
so
good.
that was interesting. Cher, thank you for that, because you don't realize the memories that are still, that you still have going on that you don't think about every day. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh, good.
The other question I had was, I know I'm a little bit farther, well, I'm not going to compare myself that I'm farther behind, but I wanted to ask if there's, I've downloaded all the videos from the previous sessions, and wanted to ask if there's a video that you do as far as changing the memory, because I'm still going to a lot of frustration and overwhelm regarding health symptoms. And it feels like an extra full-time job that I'm dealing with during the day when I'm hyper vigilant about how I'm feeling. And so I'm sure the memories of frustration and overwhelm are going back to previous memories, of course, but it's
Absolutely.
the process to changing that. So
yes. So do you mean you'd like you mean a video that just takes you through the actual changing a memory?
Right.
Back
When
and
you
forth.
go back to the you think about the memory very briefly. Yeah. It's different than
I've got that
tapping,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a video right here, so I'm going to post it in the chat.
Great.
You
go to your superpower, and then you go to the memory very briefly, and then you go
that's
to
it.
your
Yes.
subject or place, and then
That's it. So there it is in the chat. So Zoom doesn't do links at the moment, so just copy and paste that. It is for anybody else who's watching or whatever. It is in our on our YouTube channel. And
Okay.
the name of it is How to Change Negative Childhood Memories Step by Step. So anyone who's watching the
Awesome.
recording, you need that. And that, yes, that takes you through that exact process.
Great.
Very good. And yes, so the overwhelm, have you seen our video on the overwhelm?
Yes, I have watched it in the past. Yeah, I should go back and rewatch that again.
So that will help as well. And definitely, considering what you've just said about, you know, the number of memories and all of that,
Yes.
I would say be very sure to get into the superpower state first. Make sure that you're doing that first before you do any detective work or change any memories.
Right. Got it.
Because that will help definitely, because it'll bring your prefrontal cortex online.
Right.
Very good, Amy. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
You're very welcome. I'm going to check the chat. Thank you, Lisa. Oh, yes, lots of thank yous for Lisa for sending love to all of us. Sylvie says, I did it once this morning for the whole group. This morning, Paris, France time. Very good. Thank you, Sylvie. Lisa says, the superpower love energy state opens us all up to unlimited goodies in life. And that's true. So thank you for mentioning that. And in addition to that, it'll be using that superpower to the child to open the unlimited abundance for that child. Very good. And okay. So I'm not sure if the other comment is for everybody or not. So just let me know. And in the meantime, let's go into the exercise. And I have an extra target this morning. So someone we know is not well, and we would like to add him and his wife to the targets this morning. So I'll do that. All right, so take a deep breath, close your eyes, and go into your superpower state, however you do that, using your word or phrase, or by doing the exercise of hugging someone or something you love. And start to notice the feeling in your chest, your heart expanding. Feel that beautiful expansion of your heart, that light or energy shining out. And allow it to spread down to your toes, up to the top of your head, and out to your fingertips. So you're now full of that light, that energy, that love. And fill the little you with that light or energy. Love that little you just for existing. Very good. And now think of your subject again. Fill your subject with that light or love, that energy. Love them just for existing. And then imagine they don't want to be with you, or they're miserable, or whatever that negative emotion is or that negative state is, and keep them filled with that light, that energy, that love anyway. Love them anyway, no matter what. Shining light into the darkness. And feel your power as you do that. Very good. And now let's go to Kara. Let's fill Kara with that light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. So she's full of that light, that energy. Love Kara just for existing. Very good. And now to Kathy. So fill Kathy with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head, out to her fingertips. Love Kathy just for existing. Good job. And now to Lisa. Fill Lisa with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head, out to her fingertips. Love Lisa just for existing. Very good. And now to Katrina. Fill Katrina with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Katrina just for existing. Very, very good. Now to Wanda. Fill Wanda with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. So she's now full of that light, that energy. Love Wanda just for existing. Good job. And now to Amy. Fill Amy with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Amy just for existing. Very good. And now to Bogiswava. Fill Bogiswava with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head, out to her fingertips. Love Bogiswava just for existing. Very, very good. And now to Caro. Fill Caro with that same love, that light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head, out to her fingertips. Love Caro just for existing. Good job. And now everyone else on the call who's not on camera, who's incognito, love all of them. Fill them with that same light or energy from the tips of their toes to the top of their head, out to their fingertips. Love them just for existing. And everyone who's watching this recording, fill them from the tips of their toes to the top of their head, out to their fingertips. Love them just for existing. Very good. And now think of your childhood and send this love, this light, this energy to your entire childhood. Love it all. Love it all no matter what. Starting with the little you and allowing that light or energy, that power to overflow from that little you and fill your whole childhood and everyone in it, no matter what. Very good. And now think of yourself later today and fill that version of you with that same light, that energy. No matter what happens, no matter what you do or experience, love that version of you anyway. And now to our friend who's ill and his wife, we fill them with that same light, that energy, that unconditional love. No matter what happens, we love them both unconditionally, no matter what. Very good. And now to the whole group, to each other. Send that light, that energy to each other, filling the whole group. Good job. All right, you can open your eyes. How's everyone doing? Good. All right, very good. Any questions or comments? Kara? There you go.
Hi. Even though I've had certain beliefs about energy and love and all of that, I just had an experience, an actual experience of something, which was I used my dog as my subject.
Yes.
And he's very easy to love. And I got to the part where he was leaving. And well, first I want to say, when I was in the superpower state, I felt really powerful, you know?
Good.
I felt love in my whole body and really powerful. Now, when the dog started to leave, I noticed a loss of energy, an actual loss of energy and a loss of power. And I realized that's what the feeling of abandonment is. It's not because the person is leaving or the dog is leaving. It's me actually losing energy.
That's
because,
it.
You know, just, yeah.
Yes, exactly. Spot on. Good insight there. And so that's where the practice comes in. That's why we want to practice that, to maintain that energy. So just keep practicing it, imagining your dog leaving and holding your state. And as soon as you feel it's dropping, then stop and start again. And you will find you get stronger and stronger and stronger. And that's what builds to the point where it doesn't matter what anyone or anything else is doing around you, you're able to maintain your state anyway.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that, Kara.
Yes.
That's perfect.
Yes.
Good job.
Yeah.
All right. And any Lisa says, wow, beautiful. It is getting stronger and stronger. Yay. Thank you, everyone. Yes. Good job. Thank you, Lisa, for sharing that. So anyone else, any other questions or comments? Wanda?
I don't know if we could share that, but I would like to know how we are sending that energy to the other person. Are we all, if we are looking at it in a different way, how are we sending it?
Okay, that's a good question. So, and I believe it's different for each person, different people. So I'll tell you how, for me, what it is I imagine a bright white light that goes from my heart to whoever I'm aiming at and fills them. And the power in it is, as I do that, I'm in the state of unconditional love, which means I love them no matter what. Doesn't matter what they say, what they think, what they're going through. I love them exactly as they are, and that's where the power is. So I feel that feeling at the same time as imagining the light. And it doesn't mean I'm seeing it as such. I just know that it's there. So that's for me. How about for you?
I don't feel it in my body. I just see it, what I'm doing. Like when we were doing it now, I just imagine that we were all in a circle and the person that you name will come to the middle. Nice. And then we all will shoot light to that person at the same time.
That's lovely.
But I don't feel it in my body.
Okay, yeah. So first of all, that visual is lovely. That's very nice. So feeling it in your body, that is important. So the visual is a good start. And now you want to practice getting the feeling. So when you imagine hugging your subject, do you feel anything in your heart, in your chest?
I just feel joy that I usually use my plant. So I always think of the plant, how beautiful she looks, and how lovely she is. And
yes. Yes, thank you for sending me the photo of your plant. That was so sweet. we love that. We love that.
So I just imagine touching the plant and being so happy that it has a new branch and all that. So, but I just feel joy, but I don't feel it like inside.
So how do you know you feel joy?
It's seeing it, how beautiful it is.
Okay.
Like, I like that.
Yeah, very good. But where is the feeling? I
guess it's in my chest.
Yeah, and that's okay. So we, because we are, because the conscious mind is so busy interpreting stuff, we are usually unaware that emotions are all in the body. They're all sensations in the body. They can only be in the body because they're chemicals inside the body. But we're not aware of them like that. So if I think I love someone or I'm upset or whatever, it's intellectual. I'm thinking of it up here because I'm interpreting it up here. But if you start to pay attention, so if I was feeling this in my body, where would it be? You'll start to notice that you're feeling it, often in the chest or the throat or the solar plexus or the tummy. It could be anywhere, depending on which chemicals are being produced by which organs at the time. Now, you'll also have sensations in your head because that's where your brain is, but you will feel it in your body as well. So it's just that we're not aware. But now you know in your chest. So now the more you focus on that. So you think of your plant and you think of hugging your plant, start paying attention to your chest, even if it's very faint. The more you focus on it, the stronger it'll start to get. Does that make sense? And then feel that physical feeling of expansion. And you can use that breathing exercise that we shared in the first, on the first day of this. Yeah, thank you. Where you take a deep breath in, hold your chest out and let the breath out, but hold your chest expanded. That's the feeling you're looking for from the emotion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know when I get scared, when I'm anxious, I feel it in my stomach immediately.
Right. Yes.
But this one, I couldn't, I'm not feeling it. But,
yes.
Okay, I just need to practice.
It's just we're not aware. We're not used to looking for it in the body, so we often don't. You have to kind of, because I used to think I don't feel emotion. My emotions are, but then they feel intangible, but they're actually chemical reactions in the body. So.
Okay.
Very good, and thank you for sharing that, Wanda, because I know that everybody else that will help others as well. Very good. Thanks. And anyone else have any questions, or anyone else want to share what their experience is of sending that light to each other, that love to each other? You don't have to, but if you want to. Amy?
When I send it out to everyone, I kind of see like a swirl, like I use my favorite color, purple, and then I'm wrapping them up in this swirl of light, and just the whole group. When we're doing one person, it's that person, and then when we're doing the whole group, it's the whole group at the same time.
Fantastic. That's beautiful.
And then I'm feeling it inside, so yeah.
Good job. Yeah. Very, very good. And it is lovely, actually. So thank you, Wanda, for asking that question, because it is actually lovely to hear what everyone's doing, because we're each doing our own thing, and then it's nice to actually hear what everybody else is doing, because that kind of just makes it even better. Thank you, Amy, for sharing that. Yes. And Lisa says, I felt oneness with light like a vortex. Very nice. Very good. And Caro says, I sometimes feel it hard to send the light. I also visualize the light going from my heart to people, but when I visualize that, I feel pressure in my head. Okay, so Caro, I'm not sure, with the pressure in your head, I'm not sure how strong that is, or if it's unpleasant or not, or whatever. But if you start focusing on, before you send it to anyone, when you're doing it just on your own, really home in on the feeling in your chest and practice that expansion in your chest. And then when you send it to someone else, aim it from your chest. And if you start to feel uncomfortable pressure in your head, then stop and bring it back to your chest. So just keep, very gently. So this should not be uncomfortable. It should not feel, unpleasant in any way. This should feel good always. All right, so I hope that helps. I think that was all. That's all the chats. So any other questions or comments before we finish? And of course, do the same overnight, sending each other love if you want to. Oh, I know, sorry, Wanda, I'll get to you. I just want to, before I forget, make sure that you're practicing on inanimate objects as you go about your day. And the reason for that is those are the training wheels, and they make it easier. They build your stamina. They build your emotional stamina. They build your skill and ability. So, and it's something that it's easy to forget. But think of it when you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you do? Send love to the objects. So if you go and brush your teeth, send love to your toothbrush and the tap and the water and the towel and the toothpaste. And then when you go make coffee, send love to the coffee machine while you're waiting for it to do its thing, to the coffee itself, to the water, to the, so do that. And the more you do that, the more you'll build that skill, the stronger you'll get, and the faster you'll get good at it. It's really, really good practice. So Wanda, you wanted to say something?
Yes, from Monday when we were doing the exercise that about the water that I felt with Katrina, that you
Yes.
say that it has something to do with me.
Yes.
So then later, so that whenever I was having like any trouble in my life,
Yeah.
I will dream of troubled water, like dirty water and stuff going on. And when the water was clean in my dream, then I knew that I was okay. So the water that I was feeling for Katrina, it was clean. It was not with dirt or like rough water. It was like a good water.
Wonderful.
So,
Thank you for
yeah.
clarifying that. That's wonderful. And also, just as far as dreams and that go, from my from the little bit of knowledge I have about that, water usually represents emotions and life. So I used to have a lot of dreams about overwhelming, like a tsunami kind of, or your tidal waves and things, and that was overwhelming emotions in that. So that's wonderful that you've got that clean water as well. Fantastic. Lovely. Thank you so much, all of you. It's been a pleasure as always, and we will see you again tomorrow. Have a fantastic rest of your day or evening, depending on where you are. All right. Lots of love. Bye-bye now.